Hi friends, welcome to Aishudiy. In the last video, we saw how to make this beautiful hoop earrings, and in this video, I want to show something. So, what if you don't have this hoop with you guys? So, what can we do at that point of time? So, we can actually make our own hoop. So, I have here some 18 gauge parawire gold wire, and I made this. You can use any. So this is called bead buddy, and this has like variegated round shape, and it comes in 4 different shapes. This one, round, square, and triangle, etc. So you can use this, but you don't necessarily have to use this. You can use anything that you have around mm, your house, which is a round thing. For example, this wire, if it is done, then I can use this thing to actually shape um, my hoops. So all you have to do is take your mandrel or whatever you have. See, for example, you can use this too. So something which is cylindrical in shape and which has this diameter would do fine. If you want to make a smaller one, you can use probably a bottle cap or something like that. So whichever has a cylindrical shape. Now I have this, so I'm just using in this because I have it. And so all I do is I take the wire. I don't cut it before, and I just kind of loop it around here, just like that. So all you have to do is just loop it around. This frame, and then once you get a little bit over here, I just want to cross a bit, 1 centimeter about there, and then snip it off. And there we go. So this is nowhere close to round, but we can actually form the round shape by actually pressing it against this form. So all you need to do is push everything and then cross the wires, put it inside this, and kind of run your fingers around it and push these two together, just like that. You will get approximately around one. So then what you can do is, because I have this, then I can use the next one. If I have a particular bad spot right there, I can use a smaller one and kind of anyways it's gonna come out. So I'm just using the next step to kind of round the shape, just like that. Press it nicely. Because it's an 18 gauge, it's a little bit difficult. If it is 20 gauge, it will be easier than this. But I just want my round shape to be nice and sturdy. That's why I'm using 18 gauge. You can use 20 gauge as well. That will be much more easier. But I prefer 18 gauge. Once you're done with that, you have this. So here it's overlapped a little bit. Actually, we don't need this much, but I took it anyway just to form the shape. Otherwise, shape would be difficult to form because we will not have a grip. So it's always good to have it a little bit more than less. There we go. So now it's okay. And let's just check the size. Fine. So let's do this first. Okay. Now I take my round nose pliers and then grab hold of one end of the blue hoop, and then I'm just going to make a loop, basic loop. and I'm just going to do loop like this. So there we go. There we have our loop. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my needle nose pliers and then take this, and then I'm just going to twist it upwards. So can you see this one? I made a loop like this, and this one I turned upwards. And now all we can do is go ahead and straighten this loop, because this loop is like a P. So I'm going to straighten it like that. Close it again. Straighten it like that. And now this will go inside this. Can you see the hoop is already formed? And now you can actually put it inside the same form that you used to make it round, and then presses against, and then the shape will be again uniform. Nice. So the same thing we are going to do, but we have to cut a little bit of wire because we don't need this much. So I'll snip this wire about, say, here. Okay. So here we have it right now. And now I'm going to make a loop like this and then straighten this wire up. So taking my round nose pliers and then getting hold of one end of the wire. Actually, this one is much more easier for me. Okay, let's do this. We don't want to actually distort the round shapes, so that's why I'm being careful in making the loop. So now that I have made the loop, I'm just going to close it with my pliers right here and check if the loop is same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Now we can use this and then just turn this upwards just like that, and then now, okay, it's perfect. Don't worry about it being distorted. We will again put it in the mandrel and shape it. And now I'm just making this P a little bit like a proper loop and twisting it. And now I'll put it inside again and then put it inside my mandrel again, and then give it that round shape that we want, nice and round. And there we go. And now we can actually leave it like this. This is totally fine, and our hoop is done. We have to sand this part so that it doesn't poke anywhere. That's the only thing. But before that, I want to actually hammer it down with the bench block and the chasing hammer. So here is my bench block. It might be a little bit loud. So I take the hoop and I just tap it. Tap, 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 tap. I just don't want a lot of hammered stuff, but I want a little bit flat, just like that. So go over once or twice. It is 18 gauge, so it will hold its shape nice, so we don't have to worry about that. And here too, I'm just going to tap, 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 tap. Okay, there we go. So our hoops are ready. Now all we have to do is See, everybody will have a bead soup like this. See, look at my bead soup right here. So everybody will have something like this in your pile if you're doing jewelry for a while. So I also have this, and I want to use this to make this earring. That's what I want to do. I want to do multicolor earrings. So I would take the same wire, because the blue goes with very well with this soup of beads. So I'll take, it totally depends, means we took 12 inches for that, and for this we might need more, or we can do the same 12-inch and figure out how long it goes. Okay, and I'm going to have here 12 inches of 26 gauge wire. So you can use any wire you want. I chose a blue metallic colored wire just to give some contrast to the earrings. So now we'll open the loop. We don't want to work with the loop, and if you do open it, it is a little bit distorting, so we shall be careful about that. And you really don't want this long thing to insert this thing too, so I'm just going to snip off a bit, but be very careful. There we go. And in here too, I am going to take it off and then snip it off a bit. There we go. Okay, that should be good enough. And now we have to sand that edge, that I need to remember. And with this, I am just going to go ahead and wrap it around our hoop a couple of times. So because I have opened this, it's easy for us to wrap this around. 2, 3. So now, instead of taking just one bead in this earring, we are going to take multiple beads. And I'm not going to follow a pattern here, because it's a bead soup that I'm working with. So I wanted to just take the beads which is bigger in size. I think these are, I don't know if they are 8 odd or um, um, 10 odd seed beads. I'm not so sure, but I would want to use those. So I'm just randomly picking up. I'm not following a pattern or something, but I'm randomly picking up these beads, whichever comes in my wire. I'm taking it and then I'm dropping it. I'm seeing if it is nice, but something I want to do smaller beads. These bigger beads are way too big for the soap. So let me see. Oh yeah, well, that also goes. No worries. So I'm just randomly picking up the beads, whichever comes. It might be 11 O's, 8 O's, 11 O's, 10 O's, just like that. The smaller the bead, 15 O's are also here. So I'm trying to pick up some 15 O's as well. So I'm just taking my bead soup to a whole new level. That's what I'm doing. So this is always, we end up having some bead soup, especially the seed beads and stuff like that. Even the bigger beads we do, but it's easier to actually clean up and sort it out. But the smaller beads, it's always like, oh, we will do some other time when we have time, and that time never comes by. And so we end up having a lot of bead soup, and I really like to use up all of these beads and make some beautiful earrings or necklaces. And so I really like projects like this, wherein you can utilize all your scrap stuff from your project. So because I'm going random, I can even go like this, but that might take up a while to thread in all these beads. I'll get back once I'm done with threading up all these beads.